I want to say how grateful I am every day that I have a partner in the MPP for London Fanshawe, Teresa Armstrong. And even when we were out campaigning, I couldn't help myself. I was just so excited about the prospect, and I told everyone, Teresa works hard, I work hard, and between the two of us, we will do 3 times as much good as anyone could ever imagine. And we will. And we will. Now we have some notable people here, and depending on how big the ego is, you know, plus or minus is important, but very respect. The former London councillor David Winninger is here somewhere. David? He's hiding? Somewhere. Okay. He isn't here right now. And okay, he's on his way already. And the current city councillor, Bill Armstrong, is Bill hiding too? I can't see him.
He's with David.
He's with David. Yeah, all good. And the president of the provincial OSSTF, Ken Karan, is here. The president of District 11, OSSTF, Colleen Cannon, is here. And let me see, there's someone hiding. Margot, you're pointing.
Well, I think these 2 people.
Oh, yes, we have 2 candidates from the provincial election. Oh, there's David. I announced you, David.
I told you they were together.
We have from London North Centre, Steve Holmes. And from London West, we have Jeff Buchanan. And MPPs of the future, maybe even an MP, who knows? At any rate, this is, it's wonderful to have all these notable people here and all of our friends, but this is really about you, the volunteers and the people who made it possible for us to do what we do. And I know absolutely that I would not be an MP, Teresa would not be an MPP, and in the next go-round, whenever that may be, we're going to absolutely be relying on you again, because we cannot be elected or re-elected without you. The people who make the phone calls, manage the campaigns, office managers, the phoners, those wonderful crazy women who phone and phone and phone and refuse to take no for an answer. And of course, people who reach out in our community. And all of you, each and every one of you, supporters, fundraisers, CFOs, managers of all kinds, you made it happen. You did it because you believe in social justice. You believe in what we do. You believe that Tommy Douglas was right. It just takes courage, and we can make a better world. And we will. And we will, with your help, with your support, and your continued belief in what we do. Now, I'm going to talk. Yeah, I'll be quiet, so to speak.
No.
Oh, and there's Gina Barber, former candidate. An official burr under the saddle of London City Council. At any rate, we have a great deal more to do, and all you have to do is look at what's happening in this country, whether it's Attawapiskat, whether it is the Parliament in Ottawa with that mean-spirited, nasty sense of a Canada that we won't ever recognize unless we get out there and continue the hard work. So that's what we're about, electing more Democrats at every level, at every stage, be it municipal, provincial, federal. It's only more New Democrats who believe in the kind of values and the goodness of this country. It's only those people who will make the changes we need. And thank goodness the people are in the room. And I am so very, very grateful to each and every one of you. It's a season to believe. And I believe. I believe. So thank you.
Folks, Irene and Keith do have a family commitment this afternoon, and they have to leave us very soon. So before we turn things over to Teresa, on behalf of all of you, on behalf of the Federal Riding Association, as the president, we just want to give Irene a little something to make the holiday season a little more merry. So thank you for all of your hard work on behalf of the Riding Association and all of your volunteers and supporters. You put in countless hours for us, and it's very much appreciated. Merry Christmas.
One with the 3 X's on the label. Marvelous. Thank you.
And now we're going to turn the show over to our newest elected representative for London, Teresa Armstrong.
Thank you. I have to start speaking first because Irene just, does the most wonderful speeches, and to follow in her shadow is quite an honor. So I'm going to talk from the heart today and not use my speech. So first thing I want to say is thank you all so very much for coming out today with your children, your family, your friends, on this cold wintry day. Andrea's here in town today, and we've been out and about this morning. We were at the Pioneer Village with St. Nicholas breakfast, Christmas breakfast, and it was really fabulous. If you get a chance to do that with grandkids, nephews, nieces, grab your neighbors' children, go out. You'll have a great time. So, as Irene mentioned, today is about volunteer appreciation, and I can't tell you how much it means to me that the volunteers here come out time and time again and have stood behind me and got me where I am today, because I haven't done it alone. I've done it because of the support that you have, and like Irene said, your countless hours of phoning, managing, the ones who made chili on the road, in the office, greeted people, the fundraising. It's an experience that really touches you when people rally around you for one cause, a common cause, and that's to make sure we have good people in a good government to try and make a difference and hold those leaders to account. So that I truly thank all the volunteers for, and trust me, I'm very humbled and I do appreciate it very much. And thank you very much for the people that are coming up that you mentioned, all the notable people. It's a great honor to have you here as well. But there's a couple of people I would like to single out today. It's Joe Wilson and Sean Lewis. And the reason for that is because during the campaign, it's see, I'm getting emotional because they were so good to me. They drove me around, they helped me practice my speeches, they did everything that 2 people could do to make sure that you would feel comfortable and you could succeed. And so for that, I'm very, very grateful as well to them. So now the meat and potatoes of what's going on today in my life. We've got the constituency office open. As you know, I took over the old location, and that's currently under temporary basis, but we don't know if we're going to stay there or not. I have hired 2 full-time staff here at the constituent office, and I've also hired an LA at Queen's Park. So I'm ready to go out there and be a strong voice and show them our stuff. So rest assured that's going to happen very shortly. And then at Queen's Park, it's a wonderful experience, and I extend my invitation to everyone here, and I said it before, I truly mean, I appreciate if you want to come to Queen's Park, come on down. Question period is probably the most entertaining time. Truly it is. And you know, so come around 10:30 it starts, so come around then, and then we'll go break for lunch, and I'll take you to a fabulous lunch, and we can then do a little mini tour through the legislature, and you know, if you want to hang out later, I'll even take you out for dinner. So if you want to do that, come on down. I'm lonely. So please, that is a sincere invitation to anyone who would like to come. And of course, I want to say a few words about my leader, Andrea Horwath, the NDP leader. And you know, there's no more one, and I'm not going to say there's no more, you know, she's the best woman for the job, because I believe she's the best person for the job. And the fact that she's a woman only complements that attribute of being a great leader. And I know that she's going to take us, right now we've gone far in leaps and bounds as we are now, but with her vision and her leadership, I know this party is going to go next election, and we already have plans to make sure we get out there and get to know our constituents, support other future candidates and our candidates now, so that we can make you proud, and you know, come and make the province what we see, the vision of the province that we have. You know, truly a province that people can live and have affordability, you know, good permanent jobs with benefits, and a healthcare system that we can depend on when we're ill. So that's some of the things that we want to work towards. So please help me give a warm welcome to our wonderful leader, Andrea.
Well, I have to say thank you to everyone in this room, because you gave me a fantastic MPP. And Teresa's right, we're really excited because our party is growing, but it's not growing because we elected Teresa. It's growing because everyone in this room is committed not only to electing people like Teresa and people like Irene, but continuing to elect more and more New Democrats every single time we have an election, regardless at which order of government we're having an election at. And so it's good to see the city councillors here. I noticed when Teresa was saying she was feeling lonely, Bill was almost crying, and so I'm sorry that I took her away from you and your family. But she's doing a great job, and you should all be very, very proud, because she's doing a fantastic job. You've brought me someone who's strong, but someone who's very, very compassionate at the same time, right? Someone who knows her values, but knows how to respect others who might not share them, but also provide an excellent, excellent vision for the way we know that the world can be, or at least the way we know Ontario can be. And so we're going to continue to grow. You know what's happening perhaps in the legislature. We're being a little bit frustrated by the Liberals who actually think they still have a majority. They're certainly behaving that way. In fact, we haven't even struck committees at the provincial level yet, because they're trying to get a de facto majority at the committee level. Well, you know what? You have a minority in the legislature, you also have a minority at the committee level. And unfortunately, they haven't been very good at their new iteration. They still think they're a majority. They still think they hold all the power. So we're trying to teach them the odd lesson. You know, we passed the bill to take the HST off of home heating. Now, granted, we passed it with the help of the Conservatives, but it's something that we committed to in the campaign. And interestingly enough, they stole that idea from us. The Conservatives did. So we thought early on, here's something that we can actually bring into the legislature in our first week and show the Liberals that they actually, more people in Ontario voted for a party that wanted the HST off of home heating. And so together, the Conservatives and ourselves brought that motion. Well, we brought the bill forward, and of course we won that vote. But now the government is saying, the Liberals are saying, we're not going to bring it forward. We're going to leave it to Langer, and we're not even going to call it for third reading. Well, you know, never say never. You don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of things that are going to happen over the next several months, and hopefully, you know, more than months. But who knows when the election might come? And that's, I guess, part of what I want to share with you as well. Yes, we grew in this last campaign, and I am so proud of that. And just like you managed to work so hard and be so dedicated and get Teresa over the finish line this time, the next time, and we don't know when that's going to be, we have other people from this area that we need to get over the finish line. And I don't know if the people in the room who were candidates for us last time are going to be candidates for us next time. I certainly hope so, because they did a fantastic job. But that'll be up to them, and that'll be up to your riding associations, right, to decide who the candidates are going to be. But there's one thing for sure that we all know, is that we won't get anybody over the finish line if we don't continue to be active and to work hard at the riding level right now and all the way through. And we've been doing that not only here in London, but all across the province. So when the legislature ended its session the day before yesterday, on Thursday, members went back to their ridings, our 17 or 16, not including me, MPPs. And instead of me going back to my riding, I went to Windsor and Essex and spent the day with Teresa Armstrong, our MPP for Essex. And then I came here to London because I want to show the people of your communities that New Democrats are serious about representing them with a strong voice and staying committed to the kinds of things we talked about during the campaign. So I was here in Essex yesterday, and I'm here today to tell you that we are still trying to get the government to stop this nonsense of blank checks to companies that don't create jobs, right? Across the board, corporate tax cuts are not creating jobs. Millions and millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars in Ontario have been lost to corporate tax giveaways. And look at where we are. I mean, look at where this region is. Your unemployment rate is almost at 10%. Again, right? It is scandalous. I was in Essex the other day, or just on Thursday, or Friday rather, yesterday, and it's the same thing. They're over 10% in Windsor again. And yet we continue to implement corporate tax cuts. So on the last day of the legislature, we said to the government, at least stop. At least stop the insanity, right? What's the definition of insanity? When you do the same thing over and over and over again and think you're going to get a different result. Well, the result's not any different. We're not creating jobs. We're not getting investment in Ontario. We're getting nothing for those tax breaks. So let's start targeting our partnership with business, right? We're not saying government doesn't have a role to help the corporate sector. Sure, we want to make sure that companies are investing. We want to make sure that companies are putting down roots here and hiring people and having thriving businesses in Ontario. But if you hire a worker, we'll give you a tax break, right? If you train your worker, we'll give you a tax break. If you actually invest some of your revenues in plant and machinery, new technologies, we'll give you a tax break. And this way, the money that we're actually giving to companies, we're getting something for, instead of just blank checks. Do you know that the banks in Ontario, the last quarterly profits that they announced, $6 billion.
Wow. Shame.
Quarterly. Wow. Quarterly. Now, who in this room thinks that a bank needs another tax break on profits? A tax cut on profits? No, I didn't think anybody thought that. And that's all we're saying. These guys don't need it. We're not getting anything for it. So let's work with the companies that are prepared to train, they're prepared to hire, and prepared to invest in Ontario. Pretty simple solution. Now, how do you think the government voted on that? How do you think the Liberals voted on that? We didn't get their support. We didn't get their support. But I actually asked Mr. Hudak and Mr. McGuinty, particularly Mr. McGuinty, to take off for the holidays and establish a new New Year's resolution. And I said, it's time that you actually have a New Year's resolution that says, we're actually going to work with the other parties. We're actually going to work together to achieve things for Ontario. Because that's what they said in the throne speech. They were going to work together, they were going to accept new ideas and implement different ideas. We haven't seen any of it. So I'm hopeful. Who knows, I might not be what I get for Christmas. I might get a call from Doc to say, why don't you come and sit with me and help me work on the budget? And so that's our job, that Teresa and the New Democrats that we elected this last time have committed to. We are going to roll up our sleeves, and we are going to work, whether it's with the Liberals or sometimes with the Conservatives, to try to push ideas forward that actually put people first, just like our campaign said. That's what we told people we would do when we ran in the election, and that's what we are going to do at Queen's Park. We're never going to forget that the reason we got 17 people elected this time, the reason New Democrats are growing in popularity is because we are the only ones that are putting the 99% at the front of the agenda. Yeah. And we're going to continue to do that for you and for all of us. Yeah. Thank
Teresa and Andy, just come back up for a moment. We have a small token of appreciation for both of them. It is the holiday season. We have to make sure we celebrate appropriately and get ourselves in good shape for that. Teresa, if you could come forward.
I thought they were both for Andrea.
Now you're going to start a rumor.
Andrea? Teresa. And I'd ask all of you, round of applause in a moment, but what I want that to represent, I hope the two of you feel the strength in this room, the connection, the caring, the commitment, the appreciation for having leaders like both of you who are there fighting for us. Let's make the round of applause indicate how much we're all ready to work on that next election, whenever it comes. Stay, everyone. There's lots of food. Get a chance to talk to Andrea and Teresa. So great to have all of you here. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.